one and only Paul Thomas Parata. In today's video, we will all about order of operations regarding about multiplication. And order of operations, in just like the last video, we have the GMDAS or the PMDAS. GMDAS, PEMDAS, which give the group, the exponent, the multiplication, the division, addition, and subtraction. But we're only about the elementary students, so we only use the GMDAS. Exponent is for the high school students or the high grades. And right now we're learning about the multiplication of the order of operations, in order of operations. So in multiplication, it is classified in with or with the division, and it is also more prioritized than the addition and subtraction. So in terms of that, the addition and subtraction, or the multiplication and division, are much more prioritized than the addition and subtraction. In any case, for examples, we have the 4 times 2 plus 1. We need to do first the 4 times 2, then the plus 1. How about 2 plus 1 times 4? 2 times 1. 1. 1 times 2. 1, 2 times 1. Wait, is it 2 times 1? No. 1 minus 2 minus 1 times 4, yeah. Right. 1 minus 1. 2 minus 1 times 4. And just like that, we need to do first the multiplication, which is negative 1 times 4 is equals to negative 4. And then 2 minus 4 is equals to negative 2. So we need to do first the multiplication or the division first before we do the addition and subtraction. So let's talk. So about that, we go back to the topic or the example, which is the 9 times 2 plus 8 minus 3 is equals to blah. In this case, we have 9 times 2, then 8 minus 3. Just like I said earlier, in order of operations, multiplication and division are more prioritized than addition and subtraction. So first is first, we need to do the multiplication. So 9 times, 9 times 2 is equals to, 9 times 2 is equals to 18. Right? Here. That's 9 plus 9, 9, 18, 27, 36, 45. Right? So in skip countings, we have 9, 18, which is the 2. 9 times 2 is equals to 18. And in this part, we have the 9 times 2 is equals to 18. Make note that when it comes to multiplication and division in order of operations, always use or always check for the sign, because if you don't have the sign, you will make a great mistake. So let's say that we have the 9 times negative 2, we're gonna have the negative 18, because positive times negative is equals to negative. Negative times negative is equals to positive. Then positive times positive is equals to positive. But that is for integers, so you will know that a lot. So in 9 times 2 is equals to 18. We have that first. We have that now. So now then bring down the 18, then copy the rest of the given, which is 8 plus 8 minus 3. Now do the operations. 18 plus 8 is equals to 26. And then 26 minus 3 is equals to 23. Yeah. So first things first, do the multiplication first because it is much more prioritized than addition and subtraction. And then after that, when it comes to when the given doesn't have any more multiplication, division, you do the operations, which is the addition and subtraction. So in here we bring down the 18 and then copy the given and then do the operation, which is 18 plus 8 is equals to 26. And then 26 minus 3 is equals to 23. So just like I said earlier, when you have a multiplication in the equation of order of operation, multiplication comes first and then addition and subtraction. So, and also in some cases we have this um, sign or operation, which is just a dot in the middle of the numbers. It's not, yeah. So this is also used. This is also a other term or other used operation for multiplication. In multiplication, we use x, right, or times this. It is also equivalent to this dot in the middle of the numbers. And then, if you think about it, time it is also used for multiplication. In higher grades, it is often, or it is used oftenly. Not just oftenly, it is always used in the high grades, because times will be confusing for students because we have the variables, which is the letters. But we're not talking about variables. We're talking about GMTAS, or the multiplication in order of operations. And here, always take note, there could be examples and givens when you go up that you will encounter this dot, and that dot indicates a multiplication. Now then, let's move on to the next example. Example number 2. Example number 2, we have the 3 times 2 minus 2. And then 3 times 2 minus 3, first copy the first term, first one is, which is the 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is equals to 3, 6. Then 6 minus 3 is equals to 3. First thing first, if there is a multiplication, do the multiplication first, which is 3 times 2 is equals to 6. Then after that, bring down and then copy the rest of the given. There are any. If there aren't, if there aren't multiplication or division operation in the equation or the given, you copy the rest of the given, which is 6 minus 3 is equals to 3. Alright, now then, let's move on to example number 3. Oh, didn't organize that one. Alright, example number 3, we have 4 times negative 2 plus 3. Earlier we have this, I said this, the negative sign here in the multiplication, you need to have that. So after that, we need to do the multiplication first. 4 times negative 2. So 4 times negative 2 is equals to negative 8. How? 4 times 2 is equals to 8. And then multiplication positive times negative is equals to negative. So the sign will be negative. And then after that, negative 8 plus, copy the given by the way, plus 3 is equals to negative 5. Then the answer is negative 5. There are answers that could be a negative. So take note, when earlier, when multiplying a negative sign to a positive sign, it becomes a negative sign or negative number. But if you multiply a negative sign to a negative sign, it becomes a positive. And also the positive times positive, the sign becomes, or the number becomes positive. So recap: 4 times negative 2 is equals to negative 8. Then negative 8 plus 3 is equals to negative 5. The answer is negative 5. That's all. Now, let's move on to the example number 4. We have the parentheses. Remember, we have the parentheses. But we can't see the tree, the sign or beside the tree and the parentheses or the middle of it. We have this method we call distributive property, or the distribute method, where if we have a number, which is number A, and then a parenthesis, and then inside the parenthesis we have the number B plus number C. We distribute the number A to number B, and then we distribute the number A to the number C. That's what we call the distributive property. We distribute, or we multiply the number outside the parentheses into the numbers inside the parentheses. So if it has a number 2, and then we have the B1 and then the C with 1, we're going to have the B A 2 times 1 is equals to 2, and then 2 times 1 is equals to 2, which is 2 plus 2 is equals to, we're going to have 4. Now, that is the example or given example for the example number 4. Here in the example number 4, we have this 4 plus 3 times 4 minus 2. Here we have the distributive property, which is we're going to have distribute the 3 into the inside of 4, then negative 2. So distribute them. 3 times 4 is equals to 12. Then 12, 3 times 2, negative 2 is equals to negative 6. Then do the operation, 12 minus 6 is equals to 6. Right? Yes. Then after that, copy the remaining given, which is 4. Take note, we use the 3 and the 4 minus 2. That leaves us with the 4. So 6 plus 4 is equals to 10. First, take note, distributive property is where you have a number, and beside the number is a parenthesis. We don't have any operation, and that's what we call the distributive property. We distribute, or we multiply the number outside the parenthesis into the numbers inside of the parenthesis. Okay, So take note, you need to do that first before you do the operation inside the parentheses. Yes. Yeah. Take note, the multiplication in the example number 4 is example of the distributive property, the distribute method, where I distribute the number beside the parentheses to the number inside the parentheses by multiplying the number outside the parentheses into each single number. Each, okay? So, bawat isa. Right. So, the multiplication, or take note, the multiplication in the example number 4 is the example of distributive property or distribute method, where I distribute the number beside the parentheses into the numbers inside the parentheses by multiplying the number outside of the parentheses onto each single number of the parentheses. Dami. So many parentheses, so many words of parentheses. So, in this example number 4, just like I said earlier, you need to distribute the number outside the parentheses into the numbers inside the parentheses by multiplying the outside number into the numbers inside. So multiplying each. Okay, take note, always multiply each of them before you do the set operation inside the parentheses. And that's all for the example number 4. Now I have here the example 4.1, which is the same as earlier, and then same as earlier. This is just like a derived formula or derived method, which is um, whether 3, 4, and then negative 2, 3 times 4 is equals to blank, then 3 times negative 2 is equal to blank, 3 times 4 is equals to 12, and then 3 minus 2 is equals to negative 6, 12 minus 6 is equals to 6. Now, and that's all. That's all for the multiplication of the order of operations. Always take note, multiplication it comes first before the addition and subtraction. Then, multiplying a negative sign into the positive sign, it becomes negative sign. But if you multiply negative to negative or positive to the positive, you will get a positive sign. And then example number 4, or note, if the number or beside the number, if the number has a parenthesis beside it, it is what we call the distributive property, where we multiply the the outside number into the numbers inside the parentheses. And that's all. Thank you very much for watching. And if you have any questions, you can just comment down below. And yeah, I am the creator, I am the maker, and I am Paul Thomas Prata, signing off for today's